What even is a personal brand, and why do I keep getting the same 200 views every time I post? My name is Joey. I've generated about 5.5 million views on Instagram in the last 90 days. I teach students every single day how to present themselves online and monetize off of their content. The first thing I tell them is to start defining your why. Think about what drives you every single day, your passions, what struggles you've gone through, and what value you want to provide to your audience every single day. Then just write it down, keep it simple, but most importantly, keep it visible. I like to put mine on my monitor so I can see it every single day, or I like to put it as my lock screen to reread it. One of the biggest things is that once you start getting to that 200 view jail that people always claim to be in, they start to wonder why they're being so cringe, why they're posting all the time, for what? They don't really have a why established. They haven't laid the foundation for themselves. When you know your why, every single piece of content you make is directed towards that mission. Everybody gets to a point in their content journey when they start to reflect on their views and start getting down on the analytics. They'll wonder why they look so cringe online and not getting the right validation for it. And then they'll just quit because there's no why established and there's no mission statement. The next step is to clarify your identity. Write down who you are and what makes you different. For me, I started off as a painter. And then I quickly realized that my audience wanted to see a little bit more layers to my personality. So I started to inflect some of that productivity and some of that mindset and philosophy that I really like to do. So I tried to incorporate that in the trends I was seeing in the artist realm. In this case, I like to think of hybrids. Think of like a chef who loves to scuba dive, or think of a snowboarder who loves to paint. How those can like tie together, and that's going to be your pillars. Pillar 1 would be the chef. Pillar 2 would be the scuba diving. And for pillar 3, I always like to do 3 pillars. It's usually a health, wealth, or relationship situation. All sorts of different things. Health, wealth, relationships. As long as you touch on some of that on your 3rd pillar, you'll have endless content to make on. These extra layers to your personality add a ton of intrigue for your audience, and it keeps them engaged because you're probably the first chef who loves to scuba dive they've ever met online. So this tends to be the 3-step process I send all my students through when we first meet, just to lay down the foundation up front. If you're liking what you're hearing and you want to work one-on-one with me, link will be in the description. I don't like to use a lot of AI or automation in my process, especially if I have to pay for it, but there is a tool that I've been using. This tool has actually sped up my process for creating videos and ideating, and it also just, for some reason, this is so much better than like ChatGPT. It incorporates some of ChatGPT, but let me show you real fast. So this is Poppy AI. It's kind of like a Miro board or a Figma board, except that it's really, really good with its chatbot, and it has these folders. Essentially what I would do with the student is make them a fresh board. And then what I would do is start to insert their videos from their Instagram or YouTube or whatever videos they've ever posted. And I would start to put them into a folder, right? So you can put like as many as you want in this folder. And then you would go over here and click the AI chatbot. What's cool about the AI chatbot is that once this video loads, you can actually use all sorts of different chatbot options. So like it has Claude Force on it. It's got ChatGPT. It's got Grok. It's got the whole thing. So now that the video is uploaded, you can take one of these little stems here and connect it to the chatbot, and it knows every single thing about the video. So it basically takes the script from the video and it learns everything about it. So what I've done is on my board, I've taken the time to take all my long form YouTube videos that I've posted and taking my newsletters and applying some other videos that I really like from other creators like Danco or Ben Bader. And I've really started to dial in this chatbot on who I am and what I do. So there's so many different things stemming into this one chatbot, whereas on ChatGPT, it doesn't necessarily have that much clarity on who you are. It's kind of just taking its best guess, but I'm funneling literally everything into it. Let's zoom in on this real quick. So when I first got Poppy, I was like, tell me everything I need to know about this creator and what he offers to his clients. Basically, once I had a couple of these videos in, a couple of these newsletters in, it knew how old I was. It knew all my former background of like where I worked, that I was in 3D animation. It literally knows how many square feet my studio was because of my video when I said it. It knows my Instagram following. It knows all sorts of stuff. And it was kind of scaring me because on ChatGPT, it wouldn't necessarily be this dialed in because it's really hard to like set up this kind of sequence. You have to be on there for a really long time for it to understand that. Yeah, I don't really like to use AI automation for a lot of like tech stuff and like newsletters because it just ends up being like not personalized, but to learn a little bit about yourself and to understand from a bird's eye view where you stand with your content and to what kind of direction you need to go in with your content. It's a huge tool that's helped me very, very well. So it's funny, after I already purchased Poppy and all this other stuff and like really fell in love with it, one of the creators actually reached out to me to see if he wanted to do an affiliate partnership, and I was like, dude, I'm already like addicted to your thing. And we were on the call. He had no idea I used it yet. So link will be in the description for Poppy AI, and there's a 25% off code for whoever wants to sign up through me. That would help me out. Obviously, it would help you out. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, go for it. Another thing I would utilize AI for was to help me find my avatar. At first, I had no idea what kind of audience I wanted to attract, but I think it's a pivotal thing you need to do before you even start posting content is to find out who you want to attract to your content. Like, what is the type of person? And when I say get really specific, some people even put a picture of their old self on there from like 2 or 3 years ago and then start writing like 40 or 50 sentences. That's what I did. I wrote about 40 or 50 different little lines for my avatar. I was like, someone who's inspired, someone who just graduated college. The more specific with how old you want them to be or how dialed in you have them as a character, the better you can serve them with your content. Because every single time you make a video or make an edit in CapCut, you're going to be thinking about the avatar you're going to attract. Does this person like to see this or do they not like to see that? You're going to be making it for them. And to put it all into a big bundle, understand your why, really nail down the hybrid nature of the pillars and figure out who you are and what you love doing. Maybe utilize some AI and automation and then figure out your avatars. So those are a couple of things I like to step my students through when I first start working with them. If that's something you want to do, link will be in the description. Thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed.